Hey guys, welcome back. Kamina the Coach, like take 18. It is so hard to record when I don't really have like a place. Like I have obviously I have a house, but I don't have a good place to record. I'm holding my phone very obviously, so it's going to be wiggling. I hate recording like this. I hate recording when I don't have a good place to record. That's why I haven't, part of the reason why I haven't done a video in a long time. So welcome back if you follow my channel. If you're new here, my name is Kamina the Coach, and I have been working and living abroad for 15 years. I am also a transracial late discovery adoptee. I am a Black woman adopted by white people. That's transracial late discovery. I didn't know I was adopted till I was 32. And I also have ADHD and autism. I'm autistic. So you will find a mixture of videos on this channel: living better, living, working abroad, my adoption journey, my adoptee reunion journey, and as I've leaned into my autism and ADHD, what I've discovered about myself as well. So you'll find a mixed bag on this channel. As you heard just now, I have a new puppy. His name is Bo. And that's what this video is about. So I think I don't like groups. And if you follow my channel, you know that about me. I don't like groups. But as I find new things, I often join groups to see what people are saying. And I stay for a little bit. I usually can't tolerate it for very long. I think that in a lot of the highly sensitive groups, ADHD and autistic groups, people are always talking about having a dog. And now I don't necessarily know the difference between the two types. Like there's a service dog and some other type of dog. I didn't do either. I live in Mexico. I'm an immigrant in Mexico, and I just bought a dog. So all the training is me. So I just want to talk about like things that I feel like people aren't talking about. I feel like people really romanticize having a dog for people with autism and ADHD and trauma. And they don't really talk about all the other stuff associated with it. So I just want to share like the pros, and there are a lot of pros, but I also want to share the cons. First of all, I want to talk about buying a bred dog. And I know that it's a no-no, and I know all the reasons it's a no-no, but Mexico, living and working in Mexico really brings that home. I will never buy another bred dog. And it's a shame because I really want a King Corso or another Rottweiler. He has to have a friend. He has to have a partner. So it will just be a dog that's rescued off the street. I will not buy another dog from a breeder. Why? So I had a Rottweiler before. I got it from my friend. They're not breeders. They just happen to have two dogs that had a litter. I got to choose my dog from the litter. I deliberately chose the most chill. I chose the smallest, the most chill of the group. I feel like this one, so I didn't actually get to choose this one. They just brought me one. I feel like he's the most hype of the litter, probably the most nervous of the litter. And it's quite stressful. Before him, though, and I've also paid quite a bit of money for him, not in comparison to what one would cost in the United States. Mine wasn't expensive. Mine was almost next to nothing when hey, on your bed. So first of all, we get a 2-week break at Christmas and New Year. So that was when I wanted to get my new dog. I did a lot of studying, probably 4 months. I hyper-focused on, and I'm still studying dog training. So I really got versed dog training. I studied up on Rottweilers, even though I've had one before. I was very young when I had it. And I want to just make sure that I know how to train. But get on your bed. Get on your bed. Oh, he is so slick. He's trying to chew the carpet, but he's trying to make it like he's chewing his bone. He's so slick. So smart. So anyways, Hyper-focused setting, I'm ready. I spent a lot of money to get ready for this dog, to have it to get the dog at vacation so that I could acclimate the dog to my house so we could get our routines straight. So I went and got this dog, expensive, like I said, went to another city 2 hours away to get the dog. The dog just was not right. Puppy of 8 weeks, I think she was like 7 weeks. She was too small, she was too slow, she was too quiet. And the whole ride back, she was just very, very still. And as I was on my way back, I was sending voice notes to people that I know in my town, asking for vets because I could just tell there was something wrong. I went to a vet who was supposed to source a dog for me, but probably sold the dog, probably. And he was like, oh, what did he say? He didn't even check for parasites, but he did give her a dewormer, but then he gave her a very, very strong vaccination. Well, that doesn't really make sense, because if she has parasites, a vaccination is going to lower the immune system. So we went home that night. She drank a little bit of water. I don't think she had a pee or a poo. She didn't poo the whole time she was with me. She wouldn't eat anything. The night was very, very scary. She was panting really hard in my arms, and I could just tell she was fighting for her life. The next day we got up. I think she drank just a little bit of water. She tried to go to the bathroom, and blood and something else came out, and it was terrifying. Sensory issues, these are the things that people don't talk about, right? Like, I just really feel like you need somebody who's gonna give you all sides, right? Like, yes, having a dog is wonderful, but there's a whole lot of stuff that goes with it. And I've also said in my groups, like, I have some groups, like, you really have to assess where you are emotionally, because she died that day. So I had her less than 24 hours. I took her to the vet. The vet was like, I'm gonna keep her with me. He messaged me and told me she had parasites. I said, are we gonna be able to get rid of them? He said, I'll do what I can. And she died like an hour later. Now that was my Christmas present, because my birthday's right after Christmas. So this was my birthday and my Christmas present to myself. So I had a horrible, horrible holiday because of that. And Christmas and birthdays are already hard for adoptees anyways. It was really, really hard and stressful. I had a puppy die once, and I ended up taking convalescent leave for 30 days because I was in such a bad emotional place. I'm in a much better place emotionally. So I was able to weather the storm, but still, let's not underestimate, like, I was randomly crying for a while after I lost that dog. It was rough. So the guy who got the dog for me was like, oh, I'm better than that. I'm gonna get you another dog, blah, blah, blah. I ended up having to pay almost as much as I paid for the first one, because he was like, oh, he's a Rottweiler, by the way. He's like, oh, this is a German. The other one was American. So I need blah, blah, blah more. I'm like, whatever. I was like, well, you got to bring the dog to me. So he brought me this puppy who did the same thing when he got to me. Lethargic, slow, and screamed when he tried to go to the bathroom, but not blood, thank goodness. So I take the dog to the vet. Luckily, there's a vet a couple of streets over me, thank goodness. He ended up having ate paper and had paper stuck in his colon. Such an expensive vet trip. It was very scary. It was very scary, and it was very hard for me to leave him there, because the last time I'd left a puppy at the vet, she died at the vet. She was like, yes, he has parasites. Let's do a dewormer. So she did a dewormer, but she didn't follow it up. Last week, Tuesday, so I know I gotta go to the I gotta go potty yip, and I just want to play yip. And he was doing I gotta potty yip, and like demanding. And I came a little bit too late, and he had pooped in his crate, and I feel bad because I was a little too stern with him for pooping in his crate, because we don't have accidents anymore. He's very well trained. I cleaned it up, did it outside, put him back in his crate, and he was yipping again. The sound like he needed to go to the bathroom. And I came in, and the bottom of his crate was full of actual, they're probably that long, actual worms. Actual worms. When you think of parasites, you think of small, and yes, some are, but some you can see. And roundworms. As I was researching roundworms, I saw a woman comment on a YouTube video. She was like, I don't even want my dog anymore after seeing this. I don't even want this puppy anymore. And I can see where it would make people feel that way. I wouldn't get rid of him. I love him. He's a lot, but I wouldn't get rid of him. But it really, really was hard to deal with. And they're alive. They're moving. My friend was like, what did you do? I poured bleach on them, waited for them to stop moving, because I didn't even want to pick up the tray. It was the bottom of his crate. I didn't even want to pick it up because it's just full of them. I waited for them to stop moving, and then I poured them in the toilet and flushed them down the toilet. And he had 2 more like movements like that while he was outside. It was terrifying. Terrifying and disgusting. And I like had to pull some out of his booty. It was just like the same things that like people have to go through with like human babies, but it's a dog, right? Like when it's your own child, hopefully you're like bonded to, hopefully. I get on your bed. Slick, just think you're slick. Hopefully people are, you know, quite a bit more emotionally bonded to their human children than they would be normally to a pet. And but yeah, I can see where people with real sensory issues would be like, I can't do this. There's been more than one time where I've been like in tears, like what have I gotten myself into? First of all, I'm never gonna buy a breed again. Hello, stop, on your bed, hey! He really wants to chew the carpet, and he's like, she's not paying attention to me. I'm gonna chew the carpet. Slickster, get your bone, get it. Likes to play like he's dumb. He's definitely not. He knows get it. No, that doesn't mean it's time to play. No, sorry. Especially when he first came home. There were a couple of times I was like, I don't know if I'm gonna make it. But we're good now. But so why no breed? He's got a couple of deformed toes. He's had parasites since I got him. People, you know, maybe you can find a good breeder if you can afford a puppy from a good breeder, because I know a Rottweiler from a good breeder in the United States, I know is going to be like $2,000-$3,000 or more. Luckily mine wasn't, because like I said, they weren't breeders. Get on your bed, Bo. On your bed. Now lay down. Hard-headed. So if you can afford that, more power to you. But he came to me with parasites. He's had parasites the whole time. He still has parasites, even though we've already done a 3-day regimen. So she dewormed him when I first got him. Obviously that didn't do anything, because we had a whole gut full of, a whole colon full of live worms. And we just went back yesterday, and there are still worms. I can still see worms in his poop anyways. They're dead, but there are still eggs in his poop. She looked yesterday. So another 3 days of deworming on top of the vaccinations. Very, very expensive. He's got, like I said, he's got a couple of deformed toes. He's got really bad dandruff, which I think is odd. She's like, oh, it's normal for puppies. I was like, no, I've had dogs my whole life. It's not, no. He has really bad dandruff. I think he has anxiety too. He has like a chewing problem. Why don't you chew on your bone, crazy? He's like gnawing on his foot like it's a bone. Yes, a couple of deformed toes, really bad dandruff. Came to me with parasites. I'm kind of afraid he has. I'm I'm really hoping not, but I think he has hip dysplasia. And I'm just like, in Mexico, I will never buy from a breeder again. I, yeah. So that part of it. And yeah, the sensory stuff. We're not just talking about like picking up poo. Like, I know that there are people who think crate training is barbaric, but he's a little guy. He's a little guy, and he's got a big old crate, and I've got it divided because if I give him all of that, he'll just like poop in one side and sleep on the other. So it's crated. Well, you can't really see it. He has plenty of room. He has plenty of room. I make it like a little cave. He even goes in there to chill, like when he wants to. It's just so that he won't destroy everything at night. There's like too much for him to get into at night and while I'm at work. So, and I don't want him outside. There's too much that could hurt him outside, scorpions and all that kind of stuff. So, yeah, so peeing and pooing in the crate, cleaning that off of it, there's just a lot. It's a lot. Physically so there's a healing bite there. There's a healing bite there. Of course, he didn't do it on purpose. He's just playing. He bit my lip. It's a lot of sensory stuff. The noise. When he was very, very small, he still does it. But when he was very, very small, of course, I understand the trauma of being taken away from his litter mates and his mom and everything. But intellectualizing doesn't change the fact that you have to deal with that screaming when they first come home. And it was a while. I got him a heartbeat puppy, which also wasn't cheap. That didn't last him very long. I still have it, but he just didn't need it that long. But it helped, thank goodness. It's just the noise, the smell, the feel. When they start losing their puppy fluff, there was just like, I felt like there was just like hair in the air. Like one night I laid down and I had to actually get up and gargle because I felt like I had like a hairball right here. Nobody talks about this stuff. We just really romanticize having a puppy, having a dog. Like it's all flowers and butterflies. And it's just not. It's not. And especially for people with sensory issues, it's just not that easy. And it's not all rainbows and butterflies. It's worth it. Is it worth it? Absolutely. I will never buy from a breeder again. So one, I'll never buy from a breeder again. Please don't buy from a breeder. Please prepare yourself with training. I don't care who you follow, but follow some training channel. Have somebody teach you. Don't send your dog away to be trained. You need to be trained to train your dog because that builds your relationship. My vet, her husband, people are very impressed. We had our first walk yesterday. And he's just amazing. He can walk upstairs. He can already walk on a leash. We are 14 weeks, just under 4 months. And he's just a dream, but it was a lot of work. And I studied a lot before I got him. So please don't buy from a breeder. Please prepare yourself. Try to wrap yourself mind around the fact that this is a real sensory overload. And be prepared. I'm not trying to discourage you from getting a dog. I'm not. I'm just trying to tell you to be prepared and try to encourage you to not make the same mistake as me and buy from a breeder. I know that you may want a specific kind of dog because of the way it looks. It wasn't his looks for me. It's more about they're very intelligent. Supposed to be chill. He is intelligent. Chill he is not. Supposed to be chill. And largely for protection because I'm a foreign woman in a country alone and I have property out in the countryside. So I want 2 big dogs so that people will think twice before they come trying to mess with me. But I won't. I'll get a street puppy that's going to be a big dog rather than buy another one. So yeah, just wanted you to be prepared. What's good about it? I wake up on your bed, sir. Hello, on your bed, on your bed, on your bed, on your bed. I think he's neurotic. I don't know. I think he's neurotic. I do. And even though I will still go to work smiling every day, it's fulfilling, and it really gets your mind off yourself. I said I was gonna not just talk about the bad stuff, but I feel like bad stuff took up 20 minutes, so there's just not any space left for the good stuff. We know what the good stuff that comes with having a dog: emotional regulation, and just not being focused on yourself all the time. It also makes you be more physically active. But yeah, there's some bad stuff that comes along with it too. So just wanted to share that. Until next time, beautiful people, sending you love, or at least half a heart, light, peace, and joy. Until next time, I'm out.